Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's write some more Leetcode today. So today let's solve the problem, most beautiful item for each query. Let's solve this one systematically. I'll show you two approaches. One is brute force and another is then optimized. And luckily we can actually arrive at the optimized approach just by making some relatively small modifications to the brute force one. Not necessarily saying that this is easy to come up with or easy to solve, but this process itself is straightforward for this problem. There's no fancy tricks involved. The problem description is a bit abstract, so I would recommend really focusing on the example. The idea is that we are given a list of items. You can see each item is a pair of values. The first value represents the price of that item, and the second value represents the beauty of that item. I'm just going to represent these as characters because we really don't need to know the meaning behind these things. Now, the queries array, each of these queries represents a price. So once again, just to keep things simple, I'm going to replace it with a P. We want to answer each of these queries. So thus, we're going to end up with an output array that's the same size as the queries array. How exactly do we answer a query? Well, this one means that among all of the items, we only want to consider the items that have a price less than or equal to 1. So based on that, we could scan through the entire list of items, and anytime we see an item with a price greater than 1, just ignore it. So pretty much ignore all of these. So this is the only item we consider. It makes our life pretty easy, at least for the first query, because what we would want to do is, among all of the remaining queries at this point, is just get the maximum beauty. So in this case, it's easy. We just have 2. So that's how we answer the first query. I'm going to put a little 2 over here. Second query, same thing. Only consider the items that have a price less than or equal to 2. So we skip all of these, only considering these 2. Which one of them had the maximum beauty? It was this one, and the beauty is 4. So put 4 in here. That's it. That's how to solve the problem. At least the brute force was pretty easy. You could say the time complexity is n, where that's the size of this array, times m, where that's the size of this array. Pretty straightforward approach. I'm going to leave this as is because I want to quickly code this one up, even though it's pretty trivial, because that's going to help us arrive at the optimal solution. That's a little tip I would give you if you had trouble coming up with the optimal solution. Did you at least code up the brute force? Because if you didn't, well, what were you spending your time doing? Maybe if you are already making progress on the problem, that's okay. Then you can skip the brute force. But if not, you really want to build those problem-solving skills up. So I'm going to create an array. I'm going to initialize it to be empty. We could make it the same size as the queries array, but I'm going to answer these queries from left to right anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this for every query, just going left to right. Now, how do I answer the current query? Well, what we want to do is determine the max beauty. So I'm going to create a little variable called max beauty. We're guaranteed, I think, that everything in both arrays is going to be positive. So setting it to 0 initially is fine because we're trying to maximize it. We initialize it with a small value. Now I'm going to go through all the items. Remember that they are pairs, so we can unpack them like this, little Python tip. If you're new to Python, on Leetcode.io, there's a few Python courses. Specifically, the one for coding interviews is what I would recommend. For each of these items, remember, we only want to consider specific ones. So we add a conditional statement to filter them. So we want the price to be less than or equal to the query price, so less than or equal to Q. And if that's the case, in here, we can maximize the beauty. So we can say max beauty is going to be max of itself as well as the beauty of the current item. And if you want to, you could simplify this code into a ternary operator. I'm not going to do that. This is a brute force solution. Who cares? After that, we will append to the result the max beauty. And I guess it's worth mentioning now that it's actually possible. What if none of the items had a price less than or equal to Q? Well, what they want us to do in that case is answer the query with a default value of 0. So that's another reason why I initialized this to 0. So this is the brute force solution. Running it here on the left, you can see that it definitely is not efficient. So let's optimize it. They gave us a pretty nice hint with this problem. First of all, when we have a particular query given to us, let's say it's 4, wouldn't it be nice if the input array was already sorted? Because remember what we're trying to do with this query is we only want to look at the queries that have a price less than or equal to 4, right? So without organizing this data in a smart way, just by like throwing it into an array that's not sorted, we have to scan through the entire thing. That's where the inefficiency comes from. I mean, we're definitely going to have to scan through this entire array just to answer each query, but how fast can we answer each query? Well, if we do some pre-processing, we can actually get the time down to constant. For an individual query, amortized at least, we can get it to constant time. Amortized is similar to like average for those of you who don't know what it is. So we are gonna take this and sort it. So let me redraw this as a sorted array. Okay, so now this is sorted, and I should specify that it's specifically sorted based on the price, not based on the beauty, because that's how we're gonna make these queries more efficient. But you'll notice that actually, just by guaranteeing that this array is sorted, that's not enough. The hint that they gave us in this problem is they actually gave us the queries array pre-sorted. That's not guaranteed. So we are actually going to have to sort this as well. Now, in this case, it's not gonna change, but again, the time complexity from sorting this is going to be n log n, and this is going to be, let's say, m log m, which each of these is technically still better than n times m, at least in most cases. I mean, you can imagine there might be a case where this would be bigger than that, but generally speaking. Now, I know a lot of you are going to ask, how did you know you have to sort this array too? Like, how could you have figured that out? Well, let me show you. Assuming, let's say, these were not sorted, and we only sorted this. First of all, I think there is some obvious intuition of why sorting might help, but how do we actually make a working solution out of it? Let's try to do it and then see what goes wrong. I have a 4. Okay, so I'm going to scan from left to right, and I'm going to stop as soon as I find a price that is higher than 4, because I know that I don't have to consider this guy, and I don't have to consider anybody to the right of this guy either. This seems like an optimization, but still, in the worst case, I mean, we still might have to iterate over the entire array. Like if I did that for 4, okay, now maybe I'm gonna have to answer this query next too, and I'm gonna have to like iterate over, and this time I get to stop a little bit earlier. I get to stop over here, and I don't have to traverse this part of the array, but still this might be proportional to n, so the time complexity still might be n times m for this solution in the worst case. But notice something, repeated work. I scanned here, left to right, and now I'm scanning here, left to right. What determines the ending position of a query? Well, literally the value of the query determines the ending position. 4 is going to end over here, and 2 is definitely going to end earlier. I mean, theoretically, some queries might end at the same spot, even if the values of those queries are different. 4 and 3, for example, are both going to end at the same spot, but still, I would definitely want to answer the 3 query before I answer the 4 query, because the 4 query can actually be answered more easily if we've already answered that other query, because we already did all this work. We already found the max possible beauty where the price is less than or equal to 3. So now I only have to scan through the items that have a price exactly equal to 4. If any of them exist, in this case they don't, and if they did exist, I would have found the max of them. Now, that max wouldn't necessarily have been greater than the max where the price was less than 3. So I can take the max of this and the max of this, and the good thing is the max of this was already computed. It would have been stored somewhere in this array. So that's the idea behind this problem. That's the intuition behind this problem. The solution I'm about to show you, based on that intuition, after the sorting is done, the time complexity is actually just going to be n plus m. And then including the sorting as well, we get n log n plus m log m. So now let's get into the solution. It's going to be a little bit tricky because what if we sort this array? We still wanted like the original value. If the last value is 6, we want the answer to that query to be over here. So the easy thing I'm going to do in Python is actually convert this into an array of pairs where I'm going to have the index, or actually the index is going to go second. I'm going to have the query value first, q, and then the second value is going to be the index, the original index of that query. This one is 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Now this array is already sorted, but imagine if it wasn't already sorted. Actually, don't even imagine that because I'm just going to go ahead and draw it as an unsorted array. well, there's no point in me drawing it as an unsorted array, but let me just say that the original index of this was 0, the original index of this was 1, this was 2, this was 3, and let's say this was 4 and this was 5. So now the idea is that we're going to have 2 pointers. Let's say I have the I pointer, which tells me which query I'm currently answering, and I have a J pointer, which tells me which item I am currently at. So I'm going to start at the beginning because remember, these are both sorted. Now I have my I pointer 1. Okay, I want to go through all items that have a price less than or equal to 1. It looks like the first one does. So I'm going to visit it. Okay, I'm going to get the beauty of it. It's 2, so that's the max beauty so far. And now I'm going to increment J over here. So now we're done. The price is greater than 1. We can't really go any further. No need to do that. So the max beauty that we found, I'm going to store that in a variable, by the way, just calling it max for now, is 2. So the answer to this query that happens to be at index 0 is 2. Now, one guarantee I have is that every single one of these queries is going to have a value greater than or equal to 2 by definition, because remember what the meaning of a query is. We're looking for all items now that have a price less than or equal to 2. The key word is less than. This is technically included. Like, this is a part of the solution set for this. That's how we're eliminating the repeated work. So now we're going to look at the current item, the price less than or equal to 2. Okay, the beauty of it is 4. We can update our max safely. It will now be 4. And then we will shift J pointer over here. Okay, now the price is too big, but the max we found was 4. Let's put that in index 1. It's going to be over here. Okay, now we're at 3. And I probably should have drawn this I pointer shifted, but I think you guys get the idea. So 3 now. Okay, beauty is 2. Don't update the max. J pointer is going to go here. Price is still less than or equal to 3. Value is 5. Update the max. Shift J again. Now it looks like we've gone a little bit too far. So we can stop and we will put 5 in index 4 this time, because that was the original index of 3. Index 4 would be 2, 3, 4. Okay, putting it here. By the way, I just chose these indexes arbitrarily if you're wondering where I got these from. So now shifting I pointer here, we're at 4. Is the price of this less than or equal to 4? No. So what does that tell us? It might seem like we didn't find any valid items, but no. All the previous items technically are also associated with 4, and we already found the max beauty among all of them. It's 5. It's in the current variable we're keeping track of. So the answer to this query is going to be this variable, which is 5. So at index 5, we will put the value 5. Now I want to answer this query. That's where my I pointer is at now. Is the current item less than or equal to 5? Yes. So now our max beauty is going to be 6. I'm really sorry that this is getting kind of sloppy. And now we can shift our J pointer out of bounds. So J will be over here now. So since it's out of bounds, we don't really have any items left. So our max is now a 6. And that's what we're going to put in index 3 now. So put that 6 there. We will shift the I pointer. Just because J is out of bounds doesn't mean we stop answering the queries, because we have to answer all of these. So now I'm going to have my I pointer here, 6. We're out of bounds, no items to look at anyway, but that's okay because our max tells us the answer to this query anyway. So 6 is what we're going to put in index 2. This would be the solution for this example. Let's code it up now. We want to sort the 2 input arrays. We can just take items and sort it by default, because in Python, this will sort this in place. And since this is a tuple, we know that that tuple represents like the price and the beauty. It will sort it based on the first value in that tuple. It's not a tuple, it's an array, but it's just a pair. For the queries array, it's a little bit more complicated. So I want to reassign the queries array to this. I want to build a new array, first of all. It's going to be an array of pairs. This is list comprehension in Python. I would check out my Python for Coding Interviews course. It has some interactive lessons where you can practice implementing this yourself if you're new to it. But we can do this in enumerate queries. This will give us the index query pair from the queries array. We will create a pair, putting the query first. We're doing that intentionally because when we sort this thing, we want to sort it based on the query, the first in that pair. We could do that on a second line, but you could also just wrap this in a sorted. That will actually create a sorted copy of this array. And then we're taking that and reassigning it to this. Now we want to go through every query and answer it. So we could say for Q in queries, but don't forget, we just made that an array of pairs. So we're going to say for QI in queries. We want to keep track of the maximum beauty. We could declare that inside, but we are going to need the maximum beauty from the previous ones that we answer. So I'm actually going to put that outside. I'm going to put that up above the loop over here. Inside of the loop, I want to have a pointer that points to the items array. So I'm going to actually call that J. J is going to be equal to 0. While that J pointer is in bounds, while it's less than the items array, I want to find all items that have a price less than the current query price. So I could say items at index J. I want the first of that pair. I want the price. So I'm going to do 0. While that's less than or equal, I guess, to the query price, this item is valid. So what do we want to do with valid items? We want to find the max beauty among them. So we do this, max, the max beauty, and items at I1, J. And we will also want to increment the J pointer by 1. After this loop is done, we can assume that we have the max beauty in this variable. Maybe this loop didn't run at all. That's why we put this variable out here, because then at least we'll have the max beauty from all the previous queries. Either way, down here, we want to then take the max beauty and add it to the array. We can't do this. We can't say result.append max beauty, not only because I didn't declare the result array, I'll do that now, but also because now we're answering these queries technically in sorted order, but we're not answering them in the order that they were originally given. So that's going to complicate things. So now I'm going to initialize the array like this with all zeros. It's going to be the same length as the query's array. And now we're going to populate the result like this, result at index I. Index I is the one that represents the current query, and there. This I comes from the original query, which we populated up here. So that's the whole code. Let's go ahead and return the result, hoping I don't have any bugs. And on the left, you can see that it works. It's pretty efficient. This is the most optimal solution. For some reason, I still see comments referring to the Leetcode runtimes. Please, guys, don't pay attention to these. You're wasting your life. They're not important, and I feel like it's pretty obvious, but for some reason, some people, it's not. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.